What's up, Binge World? You already know what time it is. Today is the day. We're back at the podcast studio for next episode of the Binge World podcast. Number one citizen of Binge World today is here, Jenessa Acosta, my queen. Number one fan of hers. Very excited to have her on this little chat to discuss things that happened, happening, and will happen in the future for us, both artistically, in relationship and, lifestyle, I guess. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Another day, another sleigh.
Another day, another sleigh. Your favorite phrase. I'm good, just recovering from last night, eating a lot of Thanksgiving food.
Being with a big family.
Taking care of the baby, running around, driving, but it's always pleasant to have a bigger family and connect and being with our daughter now that she's here. How are you feeling as a mother?
I was going to ask you the question about how you feel as a dad. I feel amazing. I feel very happy. It feels very natural. I think because I've had Lulu, our puppy, for 9 years, I feel like I've already been a mom. And prior to that, I've just always been the mom of the group, I think. I don't know, that title was just given to me when I started going to festivals and stuff. I was just that character for our friend group.
You are very nurturing, and you do take care of people, including myself. So thank you.
Thank you. But as far as for the baby, it just feels, I don't know, like we're on cloud 9. Just looking at her every single time in awe that she's here at Earthside, and almost a year ago we found out.
I feel like she's been here for a long time now, even though it's only been 2 months. I'm already so used to it mentally.
I guess it's different because I carried her
well,
and had to recover.
Not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I was next by your side carrying her.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, definitely nothing compared to what you had to go through. As I saw during the delivery, that was an interesting experience.
Super dad.
Super what? Sorry?
Super dad.
Am I?
Yeah, for sure. How does it feel to be a dad?
It feels great. Honestly, it feels like great timing. I'm glad we're doing it together. And our baby is just so happy and fun. And, everything, all the scary things people have talked about so far, they're not as scary as they seem to be, in a sense. The diapers, the no sleep, the things like that. As much as we, are adjusting, I feel like, it's manageable and it's not the end of the world. And kind of feel like, even though it is taking up more time, it is also readjusting how at least I myself, I'm like, okay, I only have so much free time now that I'm like, when I do have it, I want to be a lot more productive and use it, rather than when you have more free time, you don't think about it that way. So I feel like, the few hours here and there, even with the studio that I've been working on at the house, I feel like I was like, okay, I need to buckle, the baby's going to be here in a month. I need to build this out really quick because I'm really not going to have free time. And I think I was thinking about it for almost years, and we had all the free time. Not all the free time in the world, even though we were busy, but...
What were you thinking about for years?
You saw me just moving around my room.
Your studio design?
Doing the acoustic treatment and really...
Yeah, ever since we moved into this house, what was it 3 years ago now?
3 years ago.
We're finally, I think, in its final form, and we're still not done moving things in and setting stuff up. It's been a journey.
Well, I think that's what's exciting too, is that that's kind of what I feel like connect on, is that we're constantly improving things. And even though that sometimes it's you forget, I feel like, because you're moving so fast and you're always, not you, but as a human, we're chasing the progress and improvement, and sometimes it's time to sit down and be okay, we're in a good what's going on right now,
we're trying our best,
take a snapshot and be okay, we're definitely you see the improvement and the growth. And I definitely see that within both our relationship and our careers and the business that we're running together. I was gonna ask you, what was I gonna ask? It was something big. Here we go. So, the whole thing was you taking a break from Instagram because you got hacked during the pregnancy. And, how do you feel right now coming back so heavy with having a few really big shows coming up? Kia Stadium, you're doing a big direct support for Side Piece tomorrow night. In Fresno, you're doing Sound Nightclub. You're doing a big warehouse party before the end of the year. How does it feel to really jump back in?
Feels like I never left. Again, just very natural. I think just because I enjoy what I do and I take care of myself and you take care of me, and it just feels, I don't know, like I'm ready in a sense. It was interesting because I definitely could have taken, I think, like a longer maternity leave. I was DJing 2 weeks until I had the baby, and I only had maybe like, how many weeks before I played my
How
first
long
show?
was the actual break? Like from your last show, what was it? August? You said it was Blind Tiger Block Party?
Block Party was my last weekend playing, and that was 2 weeks before the due date. But then I had the baby. We need a calendar.
When you did, can you look up when the Blind Tiger Block Party was?
I think it was like the 24th of August. No? I don't know.
25th, 26th, something. And then when was the John Summit Kia Forum show? So, because that was
the 13th.
The 13th
of what month is it?
Excuse me. November. So at least 1 month from September 13th to November 13th.
I think it was like almost a 2-month maternity leave, about something like that. I want to say. I don't know. Time has been crazy.
Yeah, but
the biggest plot twist is that I don't know what time it is.
She's the one that doesn't know what time it is.
You already know what time it is. No, I
Barely.
don't.
Nobody knows what time it is. Time is an illusion.
Especially in binge world. Yeah. But as far as just being back and playing, I wasn't expecting, I guess, to play so soon. I got booked on the baby's 1-month date, and it was a show that was 2 weeks out. So that was kind of soon enough, but not soon enough, I guess, to prepare. But I like that feeling. I do good under pressure, I think, is the...
I heard you, I don't know who you were talking to, but I overheard you saying that when you were DJing for the first set during, at the Kia Forum, you were like, felt that state of flow. You were like in the moment. And
yeah, always. Even while I was playing pregnant, nothing else really mattered. Just in the zone, vibing, and sometimes I even have to remember to like take a sip of water or whatever. Don't even drink anything.
It's the literal state of flow. I've actually learned about it a long time ago. There's like I think he's from a Czech scientist who has like a whole book on the state of flow. And I was reading the Ikigai book today in the morning, and they had a whole chapter on him. And I've learned about him, and he's basically talks how all over the world with people who are not even contacted, and whether it's like whatever job they're doing, whether they're making tools or making music or programming software or playing video games, we all experience a state of flow. And it's basically when you are doing something that's perfect amount of challenging. So like if it's too hard and you can't really hit it, you disengage because you can't enjoy it, and you don't feel the progress. And then vice versa is like if something is super easy, you can get it done. It becomes super. It becomes boring really quick. So the state of flow is like it's right where it's in the middle, when you're like you understand the task and it's challenging for you, but at the same time you know how to improve and you understand the process that you're gonna be in. People say that they experience it, some people experience it during running or meditation. And for me, it's definitely been like in a studio, I always like it's. And you're saying you don't know what time it is, and another reason why I'm bringing it up is that they also had a quote from Einstein, and he was saying that like put your hand on like a burning stove and wait for a minute, and it's gonna feel like an hour, and then or talk and sit to a pretty girl like yourself for an hour, and it's only gonna feel like a minute passed by. So that is what relativity is, and so I feel like time is definitely relative, and it's being in a state of flow. Same for me, being in a studio work, whether it's working on music or whether it's DJing. Usually DJing, it's like for me, when you DJ for 2-3 hours, it still feels to me like it passes by so fast, especially, lately we've been doing longer sets, and an hour doesn't, it feels like so fast.
It's interesting, yeah. I usually feel like that, except for when we played at Splash House. Because of the heat. I remember looking at the clock and I was like, we still have 30 whole minutes left.
But we had an hour and a half. I think.
But we usually play 90 minutes or like you said, 2 hours, and it goes by quick. But it was just different circumstances. The heat was the biggest challenge, because at that point I was like, ooh, I better like stop dancing so I can just conserve my energy and not pass out, which a lot of people were passing out the weekend before, but they were like 10 degrees hotter, so we were really lucky.
Crazy. What was the temperature in Fahrenheit?
I think it was 115, and they were like over 120, which is, I think, Celsius, like 40 plus. I don't know. Correct me
Still
if
was
I'm wrong.
fun.
It's hot.
I did like the vibe. I just was on my Instagram and scrolling through the reels I've posted and the post that Parm posted of us playing our track.
We didn't even post about it.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance yet. The baby, we're about to roll out all the summer content. I have so many solar events that we've done. A lot of backlogged stuff.
Yeah, and without having an Instagram too, you mentioned like how it feels to just be back on the gram, and it's almost, there's definitely pressure to start my Instagram sooner, because I was pretty hopeful that I was going to get my original account back, since I was talking to reps upon reps since June up until what month? Yeah, November. And when I got the booking, it was pretty much a big push, like, okay, yeah, I got to get back on Instagram.
How does it feel to finally have it back?
It is refreshing starting from zero, because now anybody who follows me is following me for my current journey. And I really like that. I had my account since like high school. So it went through a lot of different phases of my life with me. And, with that, like my engagement maybe wasn't doing as well. So I've definitely been getting a lot better engagement. And now I have so much to post, whether it's the shows that are happening now and like current promo for future shows, but also like we were just saying, we haven't even posted about Splash House and all of the solar summer series that we did this past summer as well. We didn't even post about our Bang Bang show in San Diego. And on top of that,
I didn't get a chance to do a tour. I did like the whole tour.
Yeah, so you were like basically off Instagram as well.
I was, but technically,
you slowed down.
I was posting, but especially in September, once the baby got there, it was definitely harder too.
It was really busy for us, besides just, all the doctor's appointments and cooking a baby and trying to take care of ourselves and get the house ready.
Even
it was
still
like
now, I feel like that's why. For me, the reason to start this podcast is because I feel like, and we're still only getting to there because baby is just growing old enough for us to even talk about like specific schedule, because she's like sometimes up on her own, wants to eat or sleep whenever she wants to.
Our little 2-month-old.
But having this, one of the reasons for me to start this podcast is because I'm like, okay, I need like a dedicated time once a week to generate content. Because it's like once a day, it's so hard, and especially
it's really
really just dedicate. And at home, you're like, and I'm glad we now have an office. That's been honestly a blessing. Blind Tiger headquarters. How do you feel to finally have all of the stuff out of our house?
So many accomplishments and changes in these past, 10 months since we found out we were pregnant. But that was huge, getting our first office space. And luckily enough, it's walking distance from our house, which was like a dream, because we can just walk over with the baby in the stroller, and we've done it already, and we're going to keep doing it again in the future. But it was a nice separation just because we were hosting everyone at our kitchen table and just having office days there, which we also liked too, but we were getting the house ready for the baby, so it was perfect opportunity and time to be able to separate that.
And just in general, it's like, having an office space, having,
It's a
more
huge deal.
having day shift, not just a night shift. Day shift has been definitely helpful in
Yeah.
order to organize everything, and, just the people we're working with. And yeah, it's been a blessing.
Yeah. It's exciting for everyone on the team, I think, for sure.
What are you looking forward to in 2025?
Everything that is yet to come. I mean, I've already had a couple surprise bookings to end off this year, so who knows what's going to happen next year. Definitely looking forward to going to Costa Rica in the beginning of January.
End of January.
End of January, yeah, beginning of next year. So that's going to be huge. And my little brother gets to be there.
Yeah, shout out to House Hats Collective for organizing. We're bringing the whole Blind Tiger fam, not the whole, but a chunk of Blind Tiger fam with us to do like a retreat, I guess. Yearly
Blind Tiger
retreat. This is our, third now?
Third. Yeah, we did Rosarito. That was fun.
That was 2022?
I think so.
Yeah, 2022 Rosarito, 2023.
Last year we did Belize.
Friendship,
Yeah.
the cruise ship to Belize, yeah. And then
2021 we did Cabo with, what was the cruise that we took?
Groove Cruise.
Groove Cruise.
But we went with the Hood Politics crew. We didn't really bring. It was just you and I. We didn't. Yeah. Well, it was still fun, but I feel like the Blind Tiger.
It wasn't an official Blind Tiger retreat.
Yeah, it wasn't a Blind Tiger retreat, and I'm really excited to get back to it. And then obviously we have Miami Music Week coming up. We're plotting.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, we pretty much know our schedule up until April. Miami Music Week is going to be super fun. We're bringing the baby and grandma.
Yeah, grandma
She's
and
gonna
the
watch
baby.
her. We're like acclimating, I think, really well to our current lifestyle and how we're gonna incorporate the baby, and it's been really easy.
Yeah, I think she's
we're
fine too. I
blessed.
feel like she's been super chill wherever we go out and to a restaurant, for example, or even we went to your family gathering yesterday. It was pretty far away, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people loud, people talking loud, a lot of
Yeah.
interactions. She barely was
Music.
fussy at all. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
But in general, just being able to work from home and, like you said, doing social media or going to the office, it's all relatively easy and super realistic and not that big of a struggle for us. And when we do have to leave the house, it's usually at night, which we've only done twice. But I mean, when I played John Summit, that was a big deal because we left the house at 5 p.m. and we got home at almost 5 a.m.
yeah, that was almost full.
Yeah.
It was 4:30. We left. Yeah, it was almost.
12 hours, and it was fine. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah, I'm excited to start traveling again. I really do want to set up a trip back to Europe. We gotta hit up our
Yeah.
homie, the checkup.
Yeah.
He's our how would you call French friend that we've performed with in Los Angeles. Yeah, we gotta hit him up to set up our next little Europe adventure. Last time we went was so much fun.
Yeah, we definitely have to go back to London. London's calling. Ibiza's calling. Berlin.
Yeah, I gotta hit up that homie from, I don't remember, what was the name of the club I played at?
Basing House?
Basing House.
Basing House in
Basing.
London.
It was fun.
London.
London, mate.
Where else do we want to go?
Barcelona.
Oh, yeah. Barcelona, Madrid.
I really do want to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Now, especially they say that...
We almost went, actually.
Yeah, we did. We were talking about it. I think we could, even with the prices right now, we could maybe even run away for, not like soon, but maybe like for a few days, kind of like we're going to Costa Rica maybe in the summer without having to bring the baby to Japan, because I feel like that's a crazy flight for her to...
I think she could do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
How old do you think you want to start bringing her? And well, Miami Music Week, you're saying you want to put her in a plane. I was 7 months old when my parents flew me for the first time to fly to from Russia to Ukraine to meet
7 months?
7 months old. Yeah,
Okay. I mean, some
and
babies
it
fly
was
as
like
soon as 3.
how from my city to Moscow is like 8 hours, and then I would assume, and it's deeper farther into Ukraine, and it was 90, so I assume planes were a little bit slower. So it might have been like a 12-hour flight, 12, 13-hour flight that I hit.
Crazy. I think she would do well.
We should.
I mean, either way,
we definitely
whether
should consult with my parents because they had me traveling like super young when on a plane, so they'll
as
give
long
us
as the
some.
doctor also says like you're good, she can go. And besides that, I mean, nowadays there's so much technology to just comfort and soothe the baby on a plane. We'll look into it. Whether she comes with us or not, it'll be good.
Yeah, regardless.
But it's pretty practical, I think, for her to come with us.
To
We'll
Japan
see.
is all I'm saying is Japan sounds a little adventurous for
I
having.
mean, we don't know. Maybe she'll be a year by then, or who knows when that happens. But yeah, just excited for all the travel next year. It's due. We definitely,
Costa Rica, we gotta hit the Europe.
yeah.
And then we gotta do Japan.
We
I
actually
feel like.
haven't traveled since January of this year, since the cruise. We were traveling so much at the end of last year up until New Year's, and then we went to Belize with Friendship. That by the time it was February and it was our anniversary, and we usually go to Cabo, we're like, no,
No, yeah,
let's stay. We're not going to Cabo. And then I found out I was pregnant, and what did we do? We kind of just like hustled and did some more shows, and you rounded up a tour, and you went on tour, and I stayed behind. And
you went on some dates.
well, I guess my last traveling experience was March. I didn't go with you to Miami Music Week. I got my dates mixed up, and I booked a cruise with my mom instead.
And
It
then
was
you
just
came
supposed to be that way. It was
you
very
did play San
special.
Diego on tour, and you did
Yeah,
play.
but like my last like flight, or
When was your last flight? You didn't come. You didn't
My
go to
last
Chicago. I did
flight-
Chicago alone.
my last flight was
I hate going on tour
January.
without you. It's
I
like
know.
so boring. Not boring. It was fun. Chicago was fun. Me and Tress, we had fun. We made music. I enjoyed it. But even going to a restaurant or hanging out or just being in a hotel, it's always
And we've
fun.
done a couple tours together.
You've been touring with me since I started touring.
Yeah.
So my first tour, I mean, I've technically played out of town a while ago. Like, flew from like Portland to Vegas.
But like a couple stops, a
Yeah,
couple
where
shows.
you're doing like headlining
January of
shows and
2021.
you're doing like 5 in a month, and you're stopping in random cities, and you're not. It's not as sometimes not as organized,
Yeah.
I guess. The first tour we went on, I remember the day when I was like, we're not sleeping on the couches anymore ever.
Yeah, that was rough. We've definitely leveled up our touring game.
Yeah, that's a funny
But,
story.
we didn't even care in the moment because we were like going to all these cities and meeting new people and with like a big squad and just
Yeah, we
playing
were
these
also
shows.
younger, and it was how
It's only
I
3
wasn't.
years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Well, still we were a little bit younger, mentally.
Yeah.
Now we're more,
But we just wanted to get out there, and that's definitely what you have to do. You have to take those sacrifices, but as you get older, then you have the money to spend on hotels, booking fee goes up, you definitely get more comfortable.
Well, we're lucky, as I say, we're not as, that's the tough part for all of the touring artists right now, the travel costs, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So the more you cut your travel costs, the more money you can walk away with. And so for us, being able to generate, money with our residencies that we've been doing allows us to not have to rely on the touring money. So, we can take that booking and spend everything on comfortable travel, on comfortable stay, and enjoy it as an experience. Which has been, I think, a blessing. And yeah, even when we started, then I remember like staying on the couches is just like, and I stayed on the couch in Miami.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I didn't stay there because I wanted to save money. I was just like, since I was
Shout out
alone, I
Mo.
was like,
Was that with Mo?
Yeah, Mo. Mo Measy weekend. I was having a Mo Measy weekend, if you know what I mean.
Oh gosh, I think that's definitely the last time I send you off with the boys
Oh, my
for your
God.
own health and safety.
The man's is a wild. He's a menace. I remember
You're a
we
father now.
I can be a wild animal myself, but when I was thrown into pack of those wild dogs, I was like, damn, I'm a domesticated. I'm
I'm
I'm a
domesticated
I'm a
now.
labradoodle. I was like,
What were you before?
I definitely
A
have.
matted up something.
Yeah, I was a Doberman before you met me. Rottweiler, tall,
Ay, ay,
skinny.
ay.
Uh,
Yeah, it was good to be with my mom on the cruise, and it was a very special, just mother-daughter bonding experience, and it was just supposed to happen like that. I don't know how I ended up booking a cruise the same week of Miami Music Week, but it wasn't even
oh wait, that
intentional.
was actually different. Miami, I did Miami twice, I guess, because then I did.
You went back
I
for a
went
tour
back for
run.
the
You
tour
did
run.
Music
So
Week, and
Music Week,
yeah,
we stayed with also animals. We stayed
yeah,
with Rash and Caleb in the same house,
I know.
and me, Nico, Caleb, and Rash. That was a crazy, crazy experience. We're sending you funny videos and stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We'll
Uh,
insert a clip here.
how? Yeah, actually, I was thinking about doing it. How do you? Yeah, how does
But
it feel when I go on tour and you're not there or something?
the moment you leave the house, I miss you so much.
Mm.
But it's fine.
We've managed
I
to travel
survive.
a lot
We
together,
travel a lot together, and we're very fortunate to be able to play together as well and get booked together and just be on the same bill, whether we're going back to back or not. And
Yeah, we definitely we
like
have
I'll
people
tour
just
manage
cold
you, you'll
calls.
tour manage me, vice versa. So excited for a lot more tours to come and traveling to come, and
Yeah, and I'm
definitely
excited
the
to
baby
slow
will be
down for
there.
next year and do like I'm saying. Same thing was just the way it was like the day to day life is being like, okay, we don't have all of the time in the world, so like let's
Yeah,
really use the time that we have wisely and really do the
yeah,
things that we want to invest to, and the thing like the parties and the clubs and the people that we want to work with. And I feel like
yeah.
until the baby, I kept feeling like we needed more spots, more places to play at. We needed to be, and now I'm like, wait, we have so many good connections. And I was like, and like maybe these were not the best ones, but like this was great. I was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, okay, we have like
It's a learning
some really
experience.
solid spots we can do stops at and not have to do try and like fill the holes in because we have the free time. We're like, oh, we were already there in Florida. We might as well do that and that and that and that city
Might
rather
as
than
well
just
go to
doing.
Gainesville and
Yeah.
Tallahassee and all these
Nothing
places.
against Gainesville and Tallahassee, great cities. Actually, my
No.
first show ever on tour technically was, what was it, Tallahassee, right?
Yep.
Tallahassee, shout out Tallahassee.
What do the kids call it?
Tallahassee.
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 That was crazy, honestly.
That
Yeah,
was a
you
crazy
guys
run.
almost got in a fight.
Well, we did how many shows we did in a week? We did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We
Well, that was the first show, though.
That
The
was the first
first
show.
show
I
of the
think it was on a
entire
Wednesday.
tour. It might have been a Wednesday, but yeah, it started off with a big bang. We're like, well, we in Florida.
We in
What
yeah,
did that
that
guy
was.
say?
He was like, he's standing like this. He's like, you guys don't want to fight me, and he has no front tooth, and he's like, my dad is the biggest dentist in town, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why does this guy have no tooth? Like he's flexing.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, even though we might not be able to tour like that again, those memories are going to just hold a special place
I think we can still
forever.
do like a college tour. People
But
do
with
that.
Freak and Gallo,
With
and
Freak and Gallo, why
who else
not?
was playing? Titty was playing.
TD, I think we can do
Who
it. I
else
just
was
think it's
playing?
like it has to be like that. We have to be prepared. Like we go to Florida, like maybe not this year or next year when she's like 2, 3, and we can leave her with grandparents for a week. We fly to Florida, we rent a bus, and we do run up Jacksonville, Gainesville,
It'll
Tallahassee. You
happen.
know what I
We
mean?
need it.
College, because people do college tours. A lot of people actually. I mean, I'm seeing like especially within like not so much within the underground house music like we play. But the old guys that I used to hang out with when I did the bass music, we're still kind of connected on Instagram, and I see them, and they're playing so many college towns. It's crazy, and they're like not. I actually saw an ad, and this kid, they're like, I feel like they're acting. They're basically like a sub agency. So because like frat people are not so proficient in booking like an artist, or if they reach out to an agent, or they've never done that or anything. So they're like this college. It was like an ad, and this kid is like, so if you guys, we organize EDM parties for frat houses and all that, and he's like, just give us like a main artist you want and a couple artists that
That's smart.
you could you might want to book instead, and dates you're looking for, and we'll do all the work for you. You know what I mean? And then I feel like
Smart.
they probably have a relationship with an agent where they go and sniff out, like, okay, is this party even legit? Is this worth, but I think the frat
Hit
houses
him up
they're
for
paying.
the tour. Vice
I've played a
versa.
couple frat houses.
Plug us in for some frats.
I think my last.
What about the sororities?
That frat is a sorority.
I mean,
think.
sorry. What's
think
the
it's the
girl
same.
one?
And though they're all in the same, it's the same.
Frat house, and then what's the girl sorority, right?
I have no idea. I'm from Russia.
I don't know. I wasn't a part of it. Something like that. The girls need the parties too, is what I'm trying to say. I would much rather go where the girls' house, the frat houses kind of scare me.
But
I think
frat houses build the stages, so the dudes, they're like the little builders. So listen to this. My last Deafmind show was, we get booked. We just played EDC, and we get booked to play. We get hit up, cold call, and it's somewhere. I don't know what city it is, but it's not even San Francisco College. It's like under some like Santa Cruz or not Santa Cruz.
one of the Santas.
One of the sons. And there's a college, and we got booked, obviously, and there's a frat house. And these dudes, excuse me, they built a whole club in the back of the frat house. Literally, it was just it was a 2-floor club. We were playing on the 2nd floor. They built it all themselves. That was, I think, one of my last bass shows that I did is playing on that frat house, and we drove, and they threw us actually, like, at that time, I think, like, our booking fee was maybe like $300 to $500, on a good day. And these kids offered us like $1,000 right away. So it's like, I think Fred, and I think they have like different pools and like whatever, how they collect the money, but they somehow gather.
I don't know, but they go.
They party hard.
Mm-hmm. When I think of a frat house, I just think of the one that we ended up in. I don't know, where was it? Gainesville? No, it wasn't the Gainesville one, because that was the last stop. It had to have been, I don't know what city we were in Florida, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
When the guy fell out of the window.
No, when he fell out of the balcony, and then Freak is just dragging him.
And this girl comes out, she's like, leave him alone!
Oh my gosh.
And then, what did it say? There was like, I have a video, there's a sign.
Oh, in the back, something for the boys, right? I have no idea.
Weekend is for the boys or something.
I think I've just had more frat house experiences, honestly, in Florida than I've ever had, and also older. So when I'm there, I just feel more out of place.
For me, I'm just traumatized. I'm traumatized by all of the house after parties that people do. Like in like, we're known for after hours and after party, and so people want us to play the late hours. And then we'll be in some city, and they're like, "Hey, come to this after party," and it's like somebody's house, and they have like. Well, you were with me that time when they like didn't. I was like, I didn't want to do it.
That was also in Florida.
And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll go. And then they show up, and I was like, you guys got CDJs? They're like, no, we got a controller. And I'm like, whatever, I'll play on the controller. And then I show up, and they got freaking computer plugged into the little DJ controller. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't played on one of these in like, I don't know, 10 years or something. I was like, they were like, so excited. They all knew my songs. They're like, somehow, I don't remember, they were all 21-year-olds. They were really excited. And I was like, okay, I'm going to plug in.
Yeah. That was a good, okay. I thought you were talking about the other time when they made you play and we were in the kitchen and there was like a whole drama.
But that's always
because there was like
happens.
a local DJ, I don't know. But that time we were with the,
House Heads? Was it House Heads? I think it
the
was
house
house
heads
heads.
boys. I'm like, is it housekeepers or
But
house
then we
this?
had they pull
Yeah,
out the
they were
thing, and I'm
cool.
like, okay, I guess I'll play on it.
No,
And
that
then
was a vibe.
they didn't even have the adapter for the flash drive, so I couldn't plug in at all.
Yeah, no hate against frat houses. Maybe we just need more better experiences. And the company that you brought up, that's really smart. So maybe like vice versa
Yeah,
instead
no, I
of
love frat houses. I love frat bros. They're my bros. Frat bros love me. I
you
got no hate. I mean, there's definitely
frat
some
bros
funny
love you.
experiences, and I've definitely been to some cringe frat houses, but I've been to some cringe clubs and some cringe festivals.
Yeah.
So there's no, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't
That's
really
just the
single out.
industry.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
anything it'll be like that. You know, there's the best, and then there's the worst, and then
Worse,
there's the
yeah.
the good quality middle tier, and you just with anything in the world,
You never know what experience you're gonna get.
yeah.
It can go one way, it can go the other. There's just so
But I
many
think
factors.
the reason why I do have that fan base of frat people, especially on the East Coast, because they don't love me so much here on the East Coast, is because I think I started in the early 2020. I started touring there, and that's when I was releasing all of my remixes on Hood Politics.
On the West Coast?
So they were
Or no, East Coast, right?
that was we went, yeah, we went. So we did that college tour, and I think even when I played that warehouse after party for like 5 hours, that's kind
In
of how I got
Orlando?
all of those kids, and they were like all, I think they were like underage, like 18, 19, just getting into it. So, and I assumed a lot of people were playing those
Yeah.
remixes at the frat
And
parties.
just recently, like a couple days ago, somebody recognized you and he was like, Hood Polly. And that was crazy because you haven't released on Hood Polly in so long, and those were your early releases.
I'm the
So,
crown
like,
jewel, okay, Susan, what the hell?
shout out Hood Polly,
Go ahead, sorry.
bestie Susan. But it right away made you realize, like, oh, that guy goes way back to your older music if he's, talking about Hood Polly and you.
Shout out to Hood Paula. Once again, I was talking about it on the previous episode, but I was like in artistic crisis because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to make and DJ, you know what I mean? And so, and also be present because it's like
An early
for
binge watch.
yeah, early post, because for me, what I realized after like Deaf Mind reached a certain point that I was like, for me, like doing this, I have to like have fun being present within the music and the community. I have to have fun making the music at like the flow. It has to be challenging enough. It has to be authentic enough and creative. And then I have to have fun DJing the music itself. So like, and I was like trying to, I would go to a festival and I would understand the lights on the stage and be like, okay, I can produce this kind of a impactful project, but the crowd, I'd be like, I'm not really about like this kind of vibe. I'm more on the club vibe, I would say. Like I love festivals, don't get me wrong, but like I like a club that's like not too bougie and not too grungy, just like authentic, and like there are people who are dressed up and dressed out, but it's not like, oh, you're not allowed here if you're wearing a certain thing, but everybody's mentally and certain level aware. So Hood Politics allowed, when Freak on Vinny took me on you and I actually, I think, were just started talking during that time
When you played the boat party?
So I was basically like, I was already getting into house music, but I didn't know about party tech at the time. At that time, and you and I met right before we did Bubble Up, and I think Bubble Up I was still playing like a little bit of night bass and like Dirty Bird stuff. And
I was there for your first binge watch booking too.
yeah, that
At
was the first
Freaky.
binge watch. That was
Freaky Friday, I think December of 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like I was still playing a little bit like that. But anyways, I don't remember exact timeline, but I remember I basically went on to San Diego and I've met the Hood Polo guys one time, but I didn't, I was at the party.
Then I don't think I was there then
You weren't
because
there.
Susie was at your first binge watch booking too. He also played at Freaky Friday. He was playing. He was going to Freaky Friday
I
with
don't know
us
if
a
he
couple
played
times.
that one, but he was there physically, and I
I
think he
remember
played the
him
next one.
playing. We were going a lot though.
I think he
Shout
played
out
one
Chris.
where Freak and I played back to back, but that Freaky Friday was something. But before I lose track of my thought about that, so Freak took me to San Diego, and the boys were all there. Susan, Nati, I don't know if Peyton was there, but like a couple of core football guys, and it was like in a small club, and it wasn't like anything like insane, like academy or even sound. It was like but people were having fun, and the boys they were DJing, and it was that house music, and I call it was like my methadone coming off of bass music, because it always had this big like on the drop, and then just go
Yeah.
to boom 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 groovy, and I was like, okay, I get my little bass moment, and then it goes into the grooves, and I feel like I was like, I can see myself DJing this, and I was like,
You're
okay,
inspired.
it inspired me, and I feel like I
Yeah.
embraced it, and yeah.
That's the cool part. We all inspire each other. Because even when I first started playing, I mean, I definitely had my own sound, even back then, because it was more of that party tech energy. And even the Hood Poly Boys were playing at the early afters events and stuff, where I feel like I stood out more. But I had those songs with the horns and all of that and the higher energy and whatnot.
Well, I
But
feel like you're just in general, when you first started, you had more of the not that you don't have variety right now, but the range between genres was wider. You could play like a big
back
room
then,
Latin tech house song and like a almost borderline bass house, and then a party
well,
tech when you were doing with
definitely.
Mia and Sarah.
Yeah. The way, and that was also because we weren't as niche back then either. So even your range was
Yeah, my range
bigger.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
were dropping disco a lot.
Yeah, I was playing,
I
and
miss the
I
disco
think that was.
binge
I
era.
remember we were at these Renegade festivals, and I was like, "That's the next thing, disco. Everybody is gonna be doing."
And that's why your edit, these
Yeah.
sounds happened because that was just like the core song for
Yeah, I mean, I
the
was playing. I
era
was
back
remixing a
then.
lot of those disco songs. The I can't
Actually,
wait.
yeah, for the music
For
to
the weekend
begin.
too. Yeah, so much
Music
fun.
or weekend?
Weekend, and then the
That
one where
too.
it's like you play a new version of that sample right now, but I used to play it. The like people told me that house music, blah blah, but it's
It'll
still
never
here. It will
last.
never last. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, all of those classic
I
house.
just remembered actually these sounds happened because you're playing the bomb by the Bucketheads every single morning during pandemic and
Well, I was trying
COVID.
to DJ it also, and I couldn't. The mix just wasn't like club savvy. So
Yeah.
I tried to do a remix with Vini, Freak On, where we did like a Russian bass boost, and we arranged it. And not until as we started listening more closely to the Larry Levan playlist, which I suggest to everybody, goes on at our house all the time. Spotify, play Larry
Larry
Levan
Levon.
radio on Spotify. Recommend to everybody a lot of beautiful music, but I heard the original song that they sampled called Chicago, and I was like, "Ooh, now I got the parts to recreate." It's kind of like it's weird because it's not a remix and it's not an edit. It's like
Yeah.
a recreation of
Yeah.
a. Because I didn't use any parts of the Buckethead song, but I did.
That was your inspiration.
It was my
Yeah.
I kind of redid what they did, but
Yeah.
with what it's interesting to say, like, because I
Yeah.
do want to give them credit, but I definitely didn't use any of their masters or sampled any of their stuff. So I guess it's a cover. I don't know.
Well, that's where the vocal came from.
Well, everything is from that song, Chicago, Street Player by Chicago. So when but when they process it and compress it, then you try and take out the parts.
Yeah.
You're equalizing, deleting the bass, so you can put your own drums and your own bass. It starts to sound crumbly, and I think I made like 3 or 4 different versions until I
Yeah.
made the last version, but. Yeah, that was definitely.
Didn't Chris Lake tell you to make another edit?
Yeah, Chris Lake messaged me. It was crazy. I woke up and I'm like, check my phone, and I'm like, damn, Chris Lake is messaging me. I'm like, I didn't even open the message. I was like, lock. I was like, I'm gonna go grab my coffee. I'm gonna do my little morning walk, and then I'll open the message. And it was like right after I sent out the DJ promo. Actually, it was already like the final mix that I did, and I sent it out through in-flight to like thousands of DJs through a DJ campaign. But it was pre-released, so it didn't go up. And then he was like, "Hey, turn down the vocal and take out this part and just replace it with another part that you already have it," and sent me like a version that he used my version and like adjusted it. But he was like, "I'm EQing it. I don't really have the right. If you can just adjust it." And I was like, immediately changed those two things. And I was like, "Oh, you're so right. Like, it just makes songs so much better." And yeah, that's the version that's actually on my SoundCloud, and he's been playing it many times. Funny how on the friendship he almost played it, and we were standing waiting. And
Well, he played it,
he
but we
played it
left.
anyway.
Yeah, the last minute. That
But-
would have been the first time you heard him play Mount.
Yeah,
Actually,
but he's played it at some.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. I mean, it's always
Yeah.
fun to see big DJs play your shows, especially at the big shows that he was playing with Fisher.
play your songs.
Yeah, he would play. I mean, I've had big DJs play my songs, but this is definitely probably my top, like, because they did the Denver big what is it, under construction. So he was playing it, and I was having friends from New York, Denver. Everybody was messaging me like, because it also has the binge watch in the intro.
So smart.
So yeah,
My favorite song is the one that goes binge watch, binge watch, binge watch.
Funny how many people
All
say
of
it.
them.
Gonna put you on the spot. When are we getting in the studio? When are you getting in the studio? Come on.
We actually did get in the studio a little
Yeah,
bit.
we did. We did.
Yeah.
We're actually
Time.
working on the track together.
Yeah,
is what's
currently,
happening
right now.
currently.
Just for fun.
Do you want to tease what we're working on? Do you want to say no?
We ain't
I'll
saying
do
nothing.
some. I'll say Jenessa has a whole playlist of songs that she wants to remix and do
I have
like
over
edits
100
to.
songs.
So yeah, we just started
I don't know where to
dissecting
start.
one and like getting all of the parts for it so we can flip it.
Yeah.
I think we kind of know the direction we're going. I think we're figuring out our.
Well, also, you like listen to 3 songs, maybe 5, and you're like, this is the one. But I have so many songs, and there's some songs in there that there's just even like bits in the middle that make it super
You
cool
can
and
even just
worthy.
grab samples and
So I think
stuff.
I need to like make a playlist for you that of tracks that I think would just like fit your style, or even just us together as a unit to work on that. Versus, I don't
mean,
know.
that's why I picked that one because it was like, I was like, give me your
Because you like it,
since we're
yeah.
gonna collaborate, I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
this is a list
But
of
what
the
if I
songs.
wanted to do that one by myself?
You should have told me.
No, it's okay.
Give me a list of songs you like, and then I'm gonna figure out which one
Yeah.
I like out of those, and that's the one we should work on.
Just so many possibilities
But
because
yeah.
we haven't even. Yeah, I mean, like the bass line, definitely the 808 bass line for sure.
But yeah, and it's not. I feel like now with all the little parts of sounds, you and I have our own. Sometimes it's hard to talk to people and discuss, like, just because we DJ so much together, it's easier for us to already talk about certain vibes or kind of what we're gonna go for. Like, I've collaborated with
We're
people,
pretty
and
similar, though.
we have to like almost go on like Spotify and be like, here, this is kind of what I'm talking. Like, you and I don't need to go on
Yeah,
Spotify and
yeah.
show it. We can like.
We're similar.
We can discuss and be like, okay, no, this
Yeah.
kind of vibe. We can bring up a song that both of us know, and I
Yeah.
feel like we definitely have that communication that's
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah.
I'm excited. We also like a lot of different variations of music as well.
Yeah, we definitely play a little bit more different now.
We do, yeah. But we can also play similar as well.
It fits. I feel like
Yeah.
it works. I'm excited
Like,
for
we
the
can-
15th. This is the first time we're playing together since Block Party, I guess, right?
We're not playing together on the 15th.
Not back to back, but
Oh, just
together.
just playing. Well, yeah, because you actually haven't played since the block party yet.
Technically, yeah.
Have you? No.
I did the after party for when we did after John Summit.
Oh,
We
okay,
popped
yes,
in.
that was your first booking.
Yeah.
I forgot we even did the after, so I've already played twice then, yeah.
Yeah, you technically
That was
played twice.
crazy.
Third time is coming up tomorrow.
First night back, I guess, was just a double header kind of night. 2 shows in one night. Yeah, that was crazy. I was, I don't know. I
We've
thrive.
done 3
I thrive in the
before.
chaos. Have we done 3 before?
I've done for sure like a radio show, a regular set, and then an after
Trying to
hours.
think. It's so hard to remember everything that happens, especially when it's like, was that the same night or is that the next day or, you know, crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe we did do 3 when we were on the cruise. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But that was insane. Speaking of the cruise, closing out the whole entire festival with Blind Tiger Afters
That went
up
crazy.
until 6 a.m. And then you had to be off the boat at 7 a.m. And
Until
our
they kicked
flight
us
was
off.
at 9 a.m. So we literally just ran away to our rooms and packed our stuff and
We were being
left.
such bougie little DJs. I saw all the other DJs were like, we have to catch our flight. We're about to miss. And these people are like, we all have to catch our flight. And we're like, no, we have to catch our flight. We were like trying to skip the line.
Yeah, that was crazy. But that was a lot of fun. I think maybe even that night we played 3 times. But yeah, I don't know. Excited for tomorrow. First time playing in Fresno.
Nice. Yeah, it's going to be an adventure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to take
Your
it.
first time going to Fresno too, right?
Maybe that's where that frat house party was. Who knows?
They all look the same, right?
I've been to
I don't
some
know.
places that I don't even know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The Suns. No, it's not Sun Fresno. It's just regular
It's
Fresno.
not San Fresno, just regular Fresno. But the last time you played Academy, I think it was for Side Piece as well, right?
Yep.
That was pretty cool. We both had our names on banners outside of Academy. I was on the banner for, was it Space Yachts, Tech My House?
I think it was. Was it? Yeah.
I think I was on the banner for Space Yacht, and then you were on the banner for Side Piece, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That was
And
the
then
last
we had the
time we
banner
played.
for Blind Tiger at Sound at the same time.
All within the same. Yeah, that's crazy. That was iconic because we actually took your parents. They were in town. We drove them around Hollywood and we're like, here's Sound Nightclub. Here's our Blind Tiger promo. Here's Academy. Here's his show with your name, Binge Watch. And here's her show up at the same time with my name. That was crazy. I don't know when that will happen again, but that was the last time we played Academy too. I just realized.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, last time they did offer. We had like somebody reach out for something, but it didn't go through. I
don't
think it'll
remember
probably
what my
happen. I feel like
last-
they're booking a little bit heavier acts now. They're in general.
It's different. I don't remember what I had to turn down a Palladium booking. I remember that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't even remember who it was for though. It was honestly a little random.
Yeah, it
and
was like a
definitely
big room act.
very different from my music, not only taste, but just what I play. So
Your style is good for like opening at some of these big events because it's driving enough for them to kind of come in and groove, but it's not like if sometimes they book other bass DJs, they just go too hard because they don't have. So I feel like
I can go hard.
yeah, but I don't think that's what they want. I feel like they want
know.
that kind of cool.
That was the funny
Groovy.
part is that when Steph at the John Summit show, she was holding up a phone and like squatting in the booth trying to get my attention, and it said hard cut in 3 minutes, and I just remember looking and I thought it said you're going too hard. So I like immediately dropped my BPM, like a full BPM, maybe full and a half. And I was so nervous because that's when I got more to like my acid tech house vibes. So it was obviously intended to go harder, but
I don't think you're going too hard because the guy
No, it
after
was
you went
perfect.
super hard.
yeah, Danny Avila, yeah. Like that?
It started like that.
I don't remember what he
Just
started
a
with.
big like bass, Reese, horn type of situation.
He came in with the horns.
He came in with the horns.
So it was a good setup then because I was at that point in my playlist. But yeah, it's crazy. How do you go about making your set lists?
Honestly, I go through. I start with the new songs that I make. So like usually, I'm working on like 3 to 4 songs at all times. So I'm like, I'll start with those, and then whether it's like a recent release that I had or something. So I'm like, okay, I have to play this one. I just put the song out a week
You need
ago.
the promo.
Yeah, I have to play this one. I want to test out just 3 new tracks. So usually I have like 4 to 5 songs that are right away. I'm like, okay, I'm testing these and I'm going to play these 2. Then, if it's a big set, like, when you and I were getting for Splash House, I will throw in these sounds, and I'm like, okay, people are going to want to hear that. And then I usually just kind of go through, I really love my Spotify release radar. So I go every Friday, I listen through my release radar, whether I'm driving or going to get coffee. And if I just kind of skip through, and if I think certain songs, I just add them to my playlist. And then when I get my sets ready, then I just I'm like, oh, okay, these are, 5 new ads that I did. Then I go on Beatport, buy them there. Then I have my demo email and my in-flight. So I go through my demo email, I check all of the demos. Usually it's SoundCloud downloads, probably end up with 1 or 2 things from the demos. Then I go to my in-flight. That hasn't been too curated. It's definitely on a heavier side. So same thing with demos. I'll end up with 1 or 2 songs. So then I'm 4 unreleased, 1 or 2 originals. Then, 2 from demo box, 2 from in-flight, and then 5 from Spotify, and I'm already at 15 songs. And then, I probably have another 5 songs that I already been playing in the previous sets that work really well, that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep playing the song. So then it gets me up to the 20,
Crazy
songs.
Yeah, that's a big process.
So
you start with your binge watch songs that you're currently working on, so your demos, and then your classics, and then from there so many things. I don't have all that. I do need to set up in-flight though. I think we talked about this.
Yeah, we need
get around
we
to
need
that.
a better for both, for receiving. Well, receiving, I think we just need to email. You just need to tell Nico to email the people that I'm working with. They'll add you to the what is it called? They basically will
The
be.
list.
It'll be like Jenessa, Los Angeles DJ Blind Tiger resident, and it'll show the amount of sound, basically combines all your followers or whatever and just shows count to how many whatever people you get exposure.
Yeah.
And when you comment, when you want to download a song, you're forced to leave a comment. So then when the person who sent out the song, they receive it, they're like, okay, Jenessa from Los Angeles, a resident Blind Tiger DJ, rated this song at 4 stars, which means she downloaded it and left a comment. Seen. We'll try out or something.
Super cool.
Yeah, we'll set
I'm excited
this up.
to try it though. Yeah, my process is a little different.
What's your process like?
My process, honestly, my playlists, I've had the same one since I think I started. So it's going 4 years strong almost. And I used to be really organized with it. And the songs that I would download off of my playlist on Spotify, I would unfavorite. So the ones that were still favorited means they haven't been downloaded or added to my record box yet. But I kind of got messy on that process. And essentially I have so many songs in my playlist that I'm still continuing to dig through there and just get songs that I haven't played yet. Or even just within my own record box, there's songs that I've downloaded but never played because it didn't make the cut into my set list that night, or I've played once and I forgot about it because we're just playing a lot, constantly making more set lists. And there's been times where I haven't even created a set list for the show that night because I have 2 set lists that I played once before, so I'm just going to play between it all. So it really just varies, I think, on what.
How do you organize it inside of the record box?
Inside of the record box?
But for the people.
It could be more organized. It's just organized by event and month right now. And
you organize by key also.
I do organize within each set. I do organize it by key. But I definitely can get more organized on that. It's cool. A lot of people have different techniques on how they have their record box organized and everything. How do you have yours?
Well, same kind of as you're saying,
Just
by events. I do need to have
it's not the best.
Well, the best is honestly to not organize it inside the record box, but actually have it organized in a Finder already. If you have folders so I have music all over my computer, and then but I do have I showed you that star rating. So
Yeah.
5 star, and I don't use it like as the best versus the worst song. I talk about like the energy
The
levels.
energy.
So
And we're
5, it
different
means
with that too, actually. Because if I'm creating a set list and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start adding songs to the set list that I think fit my vibe for that night, then I'm like done going through everything, right? My emails, the SoundCloud, all this, Beatport and whatnot. And I'm like, oh shoot, I have way too many songs now. I need to process of elimination. I go through the songs. And I'm like, okay, this one I could probably take out 1 star. This one, oh no, I for sure want to play this one 5 stars. So that's how I use it. Because then once I go through it all, then I just remove all my 1 stars. Or then again, I go through my 3 stars and I'm like, does it really need to stay? No, I'm taking
the
it
ones
out.
I'm not sure if I want to play, I don't star them at all, and they get moved down to the bottom of my playlist. And then once I'm done with it, I go through them again, and I'm like, which ones of these? Like, there must be a reason why I download them, because some of them, and then I may be like, once I organize, because I've been also, sometimes it's nice, so with the star system that I've been using, like 5 stars, very high energy, 1 star, super low energy, 3 stars, like steady.
And that's smart because you don't change the stars.
No.
You already have your track that is still 5 stars.
Yeah, like if I'm at the club and I'm DJing, like, and I'm looking for a song like a new song to play, you know, and I can't exactly remember. Like, I remember it was a good song, but I'm like, is this too heavy for right now or not? And I already know in my mind, like 3, it's like, you know, like 5 would be at Academy peak hour right before side piece. You know, I'm playing, my 5 would be still kind of technically opening for them, you know what I mean? But if it's like, you know, we were playing at Splash House and people are just showing up and we're playing an early slot. I'll play like 2s and 3s and squeeze in a 4 here and there, you know, once you start seeing it pick up. But
I might try your system out. We'll see. I mean, I do like that because when it comes to having like an organized record box or even just USB, to be able to dig through as you're playing and looking for a specific energy like you were just mentioning. I don't have that star system essentially. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I know I curated this set list for this show, more high energy, or like, you know, this is different. So
well, I also feel like once I did that, and one time I organized it, like, and I was super precise about it. I went like 5-star song into 4-star song into 3-star song into 4-star song into 5-star song, and I kind of created this like pattern.
All in key?
The energy and in key, yeah. So it was like, you know, every time I'd have high energy, I'd bring it down a little bit, then have like a chilled out moment, then start bringing it back up, and then every time I'd play the 5-star song, which would be like every 4 songs, they react, because I feel like when you play this kind of 5-star one after another, after another, after another, then they start losing their impact. Mm-hmm. And I feel like bringing it, but if you sometimes go from like 5 to 3, it's like too much of a jump. People are like, whoa, he was going hard, and now it's like way too chill.
It can catch you off guard.
So I feel like if you I mean, it was a fun. I don't always do that, obviously, and it's a lot of time I don't even get my sets ready. I'm just
that's why it really just depends. The process is always different, and you know, sometimes I don't even have time to go through the entire song completely before I play it. I just hear a couple seconds. I'm like, makes the cut, add it into my playlist, curate it in, and I'll play it out. And I'm like hearing it all for the first time as I'm playing it out. And then, you know, some little moment comes up and you're like, oh, I didn't know about that. But that's what makes it cool. Because it's like you're
third drop.
Yeah. Like you're hearing it for your first time and so am I. But it's cool. I think that's the beauty of it all, is that it's not perfect, and obviously, like,
the music is also made to be played together, which is fun. You know what I mean? So like, you know, the music, a lot of it, and sometimes it makes it a little generic, but other times it is fun because it's like playing Lego. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you were trying to play Constructor, and then like none of the pieces match. Like this piece has like these holes. You're like, oh, well, this don't come together. And
some people play like that though.
Yeah, sometimes you can do that. You know what I mean? But I feel like with structure, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you use it properly and into your advantage, and you understand, you know.
I only learn from the best.
How'd you learn to DJ?
Professor Binge. How did I learn to DJ?
Yeah. Tell us the story.
Very first.
We got 15 minutes, so let's listen to this last. How
I learned to DJ.
Yeah.
The very first day that I actually learned to DJ was, I think, the day that you asked me to be your girlfriend. We were at Tony and
How
Freak's
random.
townhouse. We were hanging out. Brock was there, and he was also learning with me,
DJ
right?
Not Dust. Shout
That I don't know where that name came from. He's so funny. Shout out the Roll Pack. And we learned to DJ together. Like in that moment, finally, I was like zoned in. You're a really good teacher, and I felt really comfortable. We were already doing some transitions because prior to that, like I would be around my friends, like Saka, for example, because they would always be like mixing at the house. I'm like, oh yeah, let me like see whatever. But it was not like an actual like lesson, I guess. And that was, I think, when was that? February of,
Yeah, it was right before we moved to Topanga.
was that February of 2020?
Because I only lived with them for 1 month.
Yeah, February of 2020 that I learned to DJ essentially. And then, yeah, COVID happened and I didn't get back on the decks until I moved in with you, Tony, and Freak in Topanga. And Tony was gifted these, I don't know, what was it?
We had Freakon's 900s, which I just gifted to Nico, which are set up now at Nico and Diego's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Tony got sent the V10,
V10, yeah.
before it was officially released. So we had the V10 in Topanga house just
And
to
what
test out.
CDJs was it?
The 900 Nexuses.
Okay, so that was the setup that I basically really learned to DJ on because besides doing a couple transitions
We were
here and
actually
there,
first we're using Tony's really old Pioneer mixer that he thought never worked, and I went and
I
like
remember that.
messed with it
Messed
with a
so
fork.
Myers and made it work
It somehow
again.
turned on. He's like, "What? This wasn't working for years." But I started.
But basically, by the time that I was truly learning how to DJ and like getting really comfortable just playing with by myself and playing for a while because we had nothing else to do with our time back then.
And we were streaming a lot.
And you guys were streaming, so you had it just set up proper. And we even would like move it into the kitchen and be mixing for hours. That was like my true learning experience, which is so crazy on the V10. I felt so comfortable with it. And then once I started playing at the after hours in like fall of 2020, what were we playing on even?
It wasn't just an XDJ.
It was just the XDJ. That was a weird transition for me. I was like, what do I do? Because I was used to the CDJs and having all the functions on the V10. So that was interesting. But, you know, now I'm definitely used to all
Those
the gear.
controllers are great, but they're definitely like once you get used to CDJs, it's just like it throws you off.
With anything, but yeah.
But yeah, you're a great student, I'd say. I feel like the only thing I can comment on is that like I had to slow you down a little bit because you were trying to learn
Do
everything all at the same
Yeah.
time. Like learn how to EQ while mixing, while making effects, while
Yeah.
trying to loop on CDJs.
I
and
think
was
that
like,
was just me wanting to touch everything.
or
'Cause
just
I'm
understand. But I
still-
think a lot of people I feel like that's how when you see everything and you start understanding, a lot of people get overwhelmed also because
Yeah.
it's like, and I feel like, I mean, even with your brother, you know, when we were first teaching him how to DJ, I remember he was more so doing like little effects, and I was like, just learn how to mix one song.
Transition.
It's just like
Just
one simple
transition.
transition. Like, don't even use a cue, just faders. Fade out of one song into that. Once you get that going, you kind of build
And then
on
once
top.
I was getting into the effects, I definitely like favorited one effect on each side to be able to learn fully and to nail down. And then I like switched to another effect and then learned that fully in another one.
It's
so
very
less
easy
is
to
more.
overdo the effects. You
Yeah.
already know.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I was definitely overdoing flanger when I first started. I was a big flanger girl. You should have gave me some more direction
I
on
was
that.
telling you, I was making fun of you. I was like, and you were like, whatever, flanger is my favorite effect.
And I have a flanger pedal at the house, so it's haunting us.
That's
It's back.
different. I love my flanger pedal.
I haven't touched flanger in a while. What are your favorite effects? I know for sure reverb and echo and delay.
Dub echo on the left. When I use dub echo is my favorite.
You get
for
crazy
sure.
with the dub echo sometimes.
Well, because I use a lot of people don't really. I use the size of the effect and the amount at the same time. So
do
even
that,
with my
yeah.
reverb, I'm kind of doing like I'll expand the reverb and then I'll make it like larger and then up to the build I'll like squeeze it in and make it smaller. Same thing I do on the what is it called on the A9 or like the Nexus 900 Nexus 2. They don't have that option on the left side. You just kind of when you turn all the way to the left, it's longer, like and the closer you get, it's like makes it like a shorter delay. But on the V10, I absolutely. I've actually had like a falling out with the V10, like you're saying myself. Like when we had the V10 and then we went out to a clubs, and I was like, I really in the club. It's like so many channels, and it's such a dark mixer, so it's a little harder to mix when you're just flipping between tracks, and then like when you're DJing 3 times a day on one mixer and you haven't used that other mixer in like 9 months, you're like, oh my god, this is annoying.
Yeah.
But like now that it was the live setup and I bought the V10
You
and
fell
did,
back in love with it.
yeah, it's
I
just
did too, actually, after the John Summit show. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because I actually made it for sound check and I had time to play around with the gear. And so I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this,
but
because
it
I wasn't
allows
just
you
like
to
plugging in
adjust
and
the
playing
size of the on the left.
of
It allows, yeah.
everything,
So the
of
left
everything. So that's what's cool, because going back to like doing too much, I think I just naturally like, I don't know. I'm very extra, I guess. I'm like, I can't just let the track play and just be like vibing like this and chilling. Like I need to be doing something. Even I don't think of it that way, but I will go back at videos and I'm like transitioning and like playing around just naturally. I don't know. That's what I do, I
I feel
guess.
like I mean,
My
there's
hands are
definitely
busy.
people. There's like three different types of DJ. There's like a DJ that's like more of a hype DJ. They're kind of just mixing between songs, and they hype the crowd. They're running around, moving a lot. They themselves
They
are
spend a lot of their
entertaining.
time jumping.
Then there's like the guys like James Hype that are like extremely a
Oh my
lot of, it's like
gosh.
trick
Yeah.
after trick where, and you're like, okay, I'm listening to tricks. And then there is like the guy that's like the more European, like laid back. I have a cigarette. I don't care. I'm turning my back to the crowd,
Yeah.
talk to the backstage people for 4 minutes, go pick a record, play out every record. And then there's like definitely people like you and I, who, and I have the same thing. Like I have to do little cuts and chops and like little, like I'm always mixing like a
Our
little
short
other
loop
loop
era.
on like I'm mixing things on top of each other, like grabbing little word phrases and like
Yeah. It's a good
showcasing.
medium. I don't know. It makes it more enjoyable for me too, I guess, because I am not one to just
But it's
kind of like
also hard to accomplish because sometimes if your tricks are not tasteful, it sounds like too much. It's almost
yeah.
like stuttery. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
when the people were doing like the hard cut, like it got popular a few years ago, like dun, 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 dun. Some people are just doing it too much.
Multiple.
And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you have one trick. Like I'm down if you do it like twice during your set, but if you're doing it like on every other 2, 3 songs, like boom, 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 like I'm like, oh my god, it's just kind of gets boring. But if you're
Yeah.
doing, and I feel like when these hard cuts, they work much better when you have like a thin loop on the other side,
Yeah.
so you're
I've been
showcasing.
using delay and echo when I hard cut, so that way it's not just like a hard cut, but there's still some like
Yeah, that
sound
actually.
feedback. So that's been really tasteful for me. But sometimes I do be cutting too much. If there's a lot of crowd reaction happening, I like to crowd play, especially like
And then when you listen
I'm
back on the
pro.
recording, you know what I mean, like with the oohs.
Yeah, I mean, we love that, and I don't know. That's just something that we do.
I was
We'll
just
cut it for the
editing the day
oohs.
trip footage, and I was showing it to Nico. And when I was doing, there were hard cuts for oohs, and it just sounded so bad. But then we had the audio from the GoPro in the back, so I actually went and found the
Put in.
oohs, and I squeezed them
Yeah.
into the mix, so you can, when you guys like ooh, you can hear from the GoPro.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, so it makes it. But it's
I like
definitely like
it.
if you hard cut, and you're recording a mix, but then you don't have like the crowd mic,
Yeah.
it just makes it feel so weird because it's like when it just feels,
Sometimes it could be tasteful if you do it right, but I mean, we're definitely pro
or like when
ooh.
people filter out and get on the mic and talk, and then
Yeah.
it doesn't record the
I've
mic.
never gotten on the mic before. We
Um,
had to take the mic away from
yeah, we
you.
moved
That's
the
a
mic
story
from
from
me.
another.
Yeah,
That's a story for another
no
time.
mic for binge.
No, if he starts to get on the mic, immediately no.
I guess we have 5 minutes. I'm just gonna say thanks for joining the Binge World podcast, and I'm excited to have you as one of my first guests and many more. I feel like we're gonna keep revisiting this and having this, conversation. I love you. I'm really happy to be, doing this together and having this interesting journey of life, music, now having a baby and figuring out how to do it all together with the baby. So, yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. I love you too, my
I love
partner in
you.
it all.
I'm gonna plug some shows real quick
Drop
and
it.
some music. Um, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up for Blind Tiger fam. You already know what time it is. Sound Nightclub, December 15th, my birthday, stacked lineup, myself, Jenessa Acosta, Sabrasura Boys, back-to-back Skonka, Koki, back-to-back Shroomy, It's Nico, back-to-back Cowbands. You don't want to miss this. Sound Nightclub, Hollywood, the sickest club in Hollywood. Very authentic. A lot of great DJs play there. You don't want to miss this. Then, another thing, you don't want to forget to listen to my new song. It's out on Optics Records. It's called What It Takes. Shout out Tress Mortimer, getting a lot of support. Shout out to the Beatport people for showcasing it, and to all the Spotify people uh, playlisting it. And then what else we got? We got the Hanger Show coming up, stacked lineup. It's J Ivy back to back, two Jiggy. Then it's New Banks back to back Crumbs. Then it's Imula back to back Dreen. Binge Watch back to back Jenessa Acosta. Patrick the Great back to back Alexa Gaxi. It's a new secret location. It's a garage. We're bringing our setup from Solar. We're excited to host everybody. And yeah, December 28th, slide through. What else? New Year's. We probably can find us in the usual place, late night. And then, yeah, I think what else do we have to shout out to Melrose Podcasts for hosting us. Shout out to Assistant Diego for doing the BTS. And yeah, shout out Nico for helping us set this up, and excited to keep this rolling.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! Bye.